Hi, my name is Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, as part of the ongoing pressures on Reform UK, I'd like to take a detailed look at a post from a local Reform UK branch, which I referenced yesterday, because on first sight, it's a case of a bit of bite back from the grassroots to the leadership, which is common in political parties, but it also reveals something about the nature of the people attracted to representing Reform UK at the local level. Something Farage is desperate for voters not to see. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So in amongst the major drama with the breakdown of relationships between Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage, which is still ongoing, a local branch posted a message about the dissolution of their organising committee. Now, I want to take a closer look at the wording, because it's a great example of the underbelly of Reform UK that Farage is desperately trying to stop more moderate voters seeing. The crux of the post is that the branch was closed down by the regional management of the party, with all officers removed and threatened with disciplinary action. The message goes on to attack the leadership decisions which went into this. Now, before I come back to that, let me just tell you how I, with my own experience of local party politics in Labour, interprets the basic message. Because this isn't an issue unique to Reform UK. Let's face it, politics attracts extremes of people, those who want to do a lot of good and enter politics as the best way to achieve it if you're not rich, and those who want to cause serious harm or financial gain, for which politics is also a sensible route. But what unites those two extremes of people is they want to effect change, whether motivated by selfish or selfless reasons. So it attracts people who are not particularly tolerant or interested in engaging with people who hold different views, which is a bit of a problem if you're a party like Reform UK, who needs to attract a broad range of voters in order to win a lot of seats in a general election. Not so much a problem if you just want to do what they did at the last election, scattergun approach, get absolutely loads of votes spread around the country, but only win a few seats. In fact, the parties who need that broader appeal to meet their political aims do tend to be the ones who have more of these problems. Like we had the same in Labour last year. Some local groups put out because the national leadership wouldn't let the local racists represent them. They didn't seem to understand that if the press got hold of the damaging views that they've aired, it doesn't just hurt that local campaign. You're not just risking your own campaign. It reflects badly on the national party and it hurts every other candidate's campaign. Sounds like the same thing here. It may well be that Reform UK, now that they're trying to build up a more professional structure, are actually vetting people, are identifying local leaders who are a little bit too free with their support for policies which, yeah, Farage might share, but it's a bit too hateful for the target voter. So it's like, dial it down, dial it down. And so they're seeking to replace these people with those who can exercise a bit of discretion. And why do I think this is a very likely case? Well, first of all, Reform UK are not exactly awash with volunteers. So it would seem an odd decision to replace an entire branch executive unless there was a strategic need. As the post mentions, we're heading into local elections. And this might be Reform UK's best chance at some good election headlines. They cannot guarantee to be doing as well in the polls next year if they don't make major progress this year. So you obviously wouldn't disrupt local campaign groups unless you thought they were going to do more harm than good. Again, if something comes out about this group, is it going to affect all of their candidates across the country? But then there's this specific criticism of Zia Yusuf, the party chair. Now, first of all, I have to say, so they're complaining that they've sent letters to Yusuf and they've gone unanswered. But despite emphasising his name in block capitals, they've managed to spell it wrong. Maybe that's why their letters are going unanswered. Yusuf's not even getting them. I mean, rule one of sending a letter to someone is put the right bloody name on the envelope. It can't even be said it's a typo. The E is nowhere near the U on any key layout. But you can see from both the tone and the use of capitals here that these local supporters are blaming Yusuf, not Farage. Not the regional manager even, who actually made the order. Why? Farage is the leader. When things like this happen in other parties, certainly in Labour, Starmer gets the blame, even if it was carried out by someone else. The leader is deemed responsible. And that's reasonable, by the way, even if the action is on someone someone else, because they set the parameters and they make the appointments. And that is Much more the case in Reform UK, because Farage has absolute control of his party. He has more control over Reform UK than any other political party leader has over their party, because there are other structures within proper political parties. So why are the members choosing to blame the party chair but not the party leader? They even say Nigel seems to have lost control of the party. Like they won't entertain the fact that Nigel is the one driving this. I mean, the blow up with Rupert Lowe came about specifically because Nigel Farage is too controlling of the party. But it fits the narrative, doesn't it? Reform UK explicitly attacks what they call the Islamification of the Western world. There's even veiled attacks on both Jews and Muslims in their manifesto from last year. Uses language which hides the racism so that ordinary members of the public won't see it, but it is recognised by the adherents. So the party attracts more than its fair share of Islamophobes. So, of course, these types of reform supporters are going to blame the Muslim chair of the party, not the non-Muslim or Jewish leader. In fact, despite there being a major civil war in Reform UK right now, specifically over Nigel Farage having too much control of the party, these people twist reality to the extent whereby to make their worldview fit the world, they have to suggest that Farage isn't in control of the party at all. Reminding me of the great Doctor Who quote from the 70s. The very powerful and the very stupid have one thing in common. They don't change their views to fit the facts. They change the facts to fit their views. And this isn't just one disaffected branch either. There's been a bit of low-level digging into Yusuf's past of the past week, I've seen, trying to accuse him of being a fifth columnist on the basis he's left-wing, because that's what you're getting collectively done. Again, they're trying to change the facts to fit their views. We need Zia Yusuf gone. We need some reason to have him gone. He's really a Marxist who's infiltrated Reform UK. Yeah, that must be it. I even saw a lot of it in comments from Reform supporters on this channel, on the videos, although that's obviously not representative. But there's just a lot of low-level chatter where the blame is being directed at Yusuf, not Farage. And this, like I said yesterday, is one of the big problems Reform UK have. The activists of a party are not generally representative of even the wider party membership, and they're definitely not representative of the target voters. So a party needs to keep hammering home to volunteers the public don't think the same way as they do, that they're trying to reach out to people who see things a bit differently. It's not always easy, as those activists are the reason they're activists is they're very engaged in politics, right? And they are very likely to discuss politics a lot. And who are they likely to discuss it a lot with? Probably like-minded people. So get a lot of confirmation bias that the views are mainstream. I've seen it a lot. I've thought it myself many years ago. But Reform UK supporters in particular have a deeper suspicion of outside source of information than most. This means that they are less able to understand other groups, let alone the concept of appealing to a broad audience of voters, because they think their views are shared by that broad audience already. And unlike with similar Labour activists, like we're not talking about people who want to fire billionaires off to Mars in one of Musk's rockets or embark on the most expensive form of nationalisation possible for the sake of haste. No, the out-of-step views here are that some people are subhuman based purely on their ancestry. Views that Farage desperately needs to hide from view. But as so many of their activists have these views and are so confident in them that they inevitably post them up on Facebook regularly, it's not going to be easy to find people to run local branches who know how to keep their mouths shut on certain topics. But I will finish by just saying one thing. Farage is not a puppet king with Yusuf operating the strings behind the throne. Farage appointed him because he wanted him to do exactly what he's doing. If Farage ever disapproved of Yusuf, well, we saw how easily he binned one of his parliamentary colleagues. How much easier someone who's not even elected. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.